Once upon a time, nestled in a small village surrounded by towering mountains, there lived a young man named Marco. He was just 24, but a deep restlessness had taken root in his heart. His mind was a constant storm of thoughts, a whirlwind that kept him from sleeping well at night and had long since stolen his ability to smile. He felt lost, disconnected from the simple joys of life that once came so easily. One day, while wandering through the village, Marco overheard some elders speaking in hushed, reverent tones. They talked of a wise old man who lived in a quiet village high up in the hills, a man who held the secrets to a peaceful mind. A spark of hope ignited within Marco. This was it. This was the answer he had been searching for. Without a second thought, he packed a small bag, bid a silent farewell to his worries, and decided to seek out this master of serenity. He set off on his journey, his feet finding the rhythm of the winding mountain path. The air grew thinner and cleaner with every step. He walked past vibrant green trees, their leaves dancing in the wind, and watched as birds soared freely in the vast, open sky. It was a long and tiring journey, taking him many days, but Marco pressed on, his hope pulling him forward like an invisible string. Finally, he arrived. The village was just as the elders had described, a haven of peace, bathed in a bright, tranquil light and surrounded by lush greenery. The very atmosphere seemed to hum with a calm energy that soothed his frayed nerves. As he walked deeper into the village, he saw a small, charming house covered in a cloak of green vines. And there, sitting quietly on the porch with his eyes closed in meditation, was the wise old man. He looked as ancient and peaceful as the mountains themselves. Marco approached softly, not wanting to disturb the profound stillness that surrounded the man. He waited patiently, and after a moment, the old man slowly opened his eyes, a kind and gentle smile gracing his lips as if he had been expecting him all along. Marco bowed his head humbly and said, "Grandfather, my mind is so restless. It's a storm I can't control. Can you please help me find peace?" The old man didn't speak. Instead, he simply nodded and gestured for Marco to follow him. He led him to a small wooden table, took a clear glass, and began to pour water into it from an old clay pitcher. He filled it carefully, methodically, right up to the very brim, so full that the surface of the water formed a perfect, glistening dome. The reflection of the clear sky was captured within it, a tiny, perfect world of calm. Then, the old man looked at Marco with his gentle, knowing eyes and handed him the full glass. The light from the sun, filtering through the trees, seemed to converge on the glass, making it glow. "Take this glass," the old man said, his voice as soft as the rustling leaves. "Walk to the edge of the village and come all the way back. But remember this one rule: you must not spill a single drop." Marco took the glass, his hands trembling slightly. He nodded and began his walk. The village path was far from empty. It was a bustling scene of daily life. Children laughed and chased each other, dogs barked playfully, and shopkeepers called out to passers-by. The smells of baking bread and fresh flowers filled the air, but Marco saw none of it. He heard none of it. His entire world had shrunk to the size of that glass. His eyes were locked on the shimmering surface of the water, his steps slow and deliberate. Every muscle in his body was focused on a single task, keeping the water perfectly still. He didn't look left or right. Kay's gaze was unwavering, his hands as steady as a surgeon's. The chaos of the village street became a soft, blurred backdrop to his intense concentration. He walked to the edge of the village, turned around with painstaking care, and began the journey back. Finally, with a sigh of relief, he returned to the old man's porch. A proud smile spread across his face as he held up the glass. "I did it," he exclaimed. "I didn't spill even one drop." The old man nodded, his own smile widening. "That is good," he said gently. "Very good. But tell me, while you were walking, did you see the children playing? Did you hear the dogs barking?" Did you notice the beautiful flowers in front of the baker's shop? Marco's triumphant expression slowly faded, replaced by confusion. He thought for a moment and then shook his head. No, he admitted. I didn't notice anything. My mind was only on the glass. The old man's eyes twinkled. Exactly, he said. When you were focused on keeping the water from spilling, your mind was completely in the present moment. And in that present moment, there was no room for anxiety, no space for restlessness or fear. The chaos of the street was still there, but it could not touch you because your attention was elsewhere. He pointed to the glass. Your mind is like this water. When it is focused, it is calm and clear. When it is allowed to wander, it is easily disturbed. In that instant, everything clicked into place for Marco. It was a moment of profound revelation. He looked at the reflection in the glass, and instead of the village chaos, he saw the calm, clear sky. He understood that peace was not something to be found in a distant place or received from someone else. It wasn't outside of him at all. It was already inside, waiting to be uncovered. All he needed was to bring his focus to the present. A light breeze rustled the leaves around him, as if nature itself was applauding his discovery. The sun was beginning to set, painting the sky in magnificent shades of orange and gold. As birds flew home across the glowing horizon, Marco began his walk back down the mountain, his heart light and his mind serene. He now knew the secret. He knew how to calm the storm within. He gazed at the sunset. A peaceful smile on his face, his journey complete. He had found what he was looking for, not in a wise man's words, but within himself. Thank you so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, please give it a like and share it with someone who might need to hear it. And don't forget to subscribe for more inspiring stories like this one. We'll see you in the next video.